One crypto project is suddenly partnering with Microsoft and even Facebook. Another quietly built a bridge between Solana and Coinbase's new network. And a third is promising a wild 20% yield thanks to AI. These are the top 3 AI-focused crypto projects of the moment, but can any of them survive into 2026? Let's find out. If you're into crypto, you know how hype cycles come and go, and nothing's been hypier recently than AI, but hype is cheap. Execution is hard. So, when I saw a Santiment report listing the top 3 AI and big data crypto projects by developer activity this month, I got curious. According to Santiment's data, those 3 projects are Internet Computer, ticker ICP, Chainlink, ticker Link, and Near Protocol, ticker Near. Naturally, I had to check them out. Are these projects actually carving out an AI niche, or just riding buzzwords? And more importantly, will they still matter a year from now? This might shock you, but I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing in this video is financial advice. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile, and you could lose all the money you invest. Always do your own research and consult a qualified professional. Your investments are entirely your responsibility, and you should know that nothing is ever guaranteed when it comes to investing. Neither I, this channel, nor YouTube are liable for any losses. This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Alright. With that important disclaimer out of the way, let's jump back in. We have 3 projects to explore at the intersection of crypto and AI. First up on Santiment's list is something of a blast from the past. Internet Computer, ticker ICP. Now, if you remember, ICP made huge waves when it launched in 2021. It briefly shot into the top 10 cryptos by market cap, and its price on day 1 hit stratospheric levels. We're talking hundreds of dollars per coin. Then it famously crashed hard. Within months, ICP went from its all-time high down to just a few bucks. Ouch. It became almost a meme of the 2021 bull run excess. A lot of people wrote ICP off as overhyped or even accused it of being a scam. So, coming into this research, I honestly didn't expect ICP to be leading anything in 2025. But I was in for a surprise. Fast forward to today. The developers at the DeFi and ICP Foundation, that's the team behind ICP, are still grinding away, and they've been busy. In fact, they just rolled out a bunch of ecosystem updates focusing on things like AI integration, better security, interoperability with other blockchains, and even improved user authentication. In other words, ICP is trying to make it easier for different systems to work with it, and doing so with AI and security in mind. More interestingly, ICP has been cozying up to some tech giants. They've announced partnerships with Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud, bringing ICP's blockchain tech into big enterprise cloud environments. That means companies building on Azure or Google Cloud might start using Internet Computer's network for some workflows. That's a pretty big deal, bridging the gap between corporate cloud services and blockchain. And get this, ICP has even integrated with familiar names like Facebook and Instagram. The details on those integrations are still a bit fuzzy. We don't yet know exactly how deep that goes or how data will be governed long-term on those platforms. But the very fact that ICP tech is touching Facebook and Instagram in any way is noteworthy. It suggests ICP is not just playing in its own sandbox. It's reaching into platforms that everyday people use. They're also expanding in other areas. Just last month, ICP announced an integration with WordPress. Yes, WordPress, the blogging platform that powers like 40% of the web. This could potentially make publishing content on a blockchain as easy as using WordPress. Imagine bloggers or content creators running their sites on Internet Computer without even realizing it's blockchain under the hood. That could quietly onboard a ton of users. They also integrated with something called Caffeine, a social live streaming platform. The specifics there are less clear to me, but presumably it's about expanding ICP's network usage in social or streaming apps. Honestly, I was surprised, in a good way, to see ICP making these moves. This is a project many folks had left for dead after its post-launch crash. Yet, here it is, leading development rankings and rubbing shoulders with the likes of Microsoft. It feels a bit like that child prodigy who fell off the radar and is now quietly making a comeback in the lab. Of course, we should take partnerships with a grain of salt. Crypto projects love to announce partnerships, but those don't always result in real adoption. Still, these are not small names. If even a fraction of Azure's enterprise clients or a slice of WordPress users end up using ICP's tech in the background, that could be a big win. So, could ICP survive through 2026 and beyond? It's not guaranteed. Nothing is in crypto, but I'd say ICP has a fighting chance if they keep executing like this. The tech has always been ambitious. ICP wants to reinvent the internet on blockchain, and now they're pairing that ambition with real-world integrations. I'm cautiously optimistic. ICP might just have a second act, and I'll definitely be watching how those integrations play out. Before we move on to the next project, a quick side note. If you enjoy digging into these kinds of under-the-radar crypto stories, you should join our free educational Discord community. The link is in the description. It's a great place to chat with other crypto enthusiasts, ask questions, and share insights on projects like these. We've got a bunch of savvy folks in there who love to discuss the latest news and strategies. So yeah, hop in if that sounds like your kind of place. Alright, back to the list. The next project Santiment highlighted is a more familiar name. Chainlink. Now, Chainlink is hardly a new or unknown project. It's been around since 2017 and has become a cornerstone of the crypto infrastructure. If you've used any DeFi application in the past few years, there's a good chance Chainlink was running behind the scenes, feeding it data. Chainlink is an oracle network, which is a fancy way of saying it connects blockchains with real-world data and with each other. Need the latest price of Bitcoin inside a smart contract? Chainlink. Want to trigger a payout when the weather data says it rained? Chainlink. It's like the plumbing or the electric grid of the decentralized world. Not very glamorous, but absolutely critical. So, how does Chainlink tie into AI and big data? Pretty much everything in a modern decentralized app, especially one that uses AI, needs reliable data and sometimes needs to communicate across different blockchains. Chainlink provides that reliability and connectivity. It's the infrastructure that can enable complex AI-driven smart contracts by ensuring they have the info they need from outside sources, and even letting different chains talk to each other. And they have been busy lately. In just the past week or so, Chainlink announced 14 new integrations across 5 different services and 11 blockchains. 14. That covers a mix of Layer 1 and Layer 2 chains. They recently added support or integrations for Bitcoin, Solana, Tron, Aptos, those are some of the Layer 1s, and also Layer 2s, like Arbitrum, Base, and Avalanche. It's like they're saying, no matter what chain you build on, we've got you. And this widespread integration tells me Chainlink is doubling down on being the connective tissue of the crypto world. One integration that stood out to me, a DeFi platform called Camino Finance, is using Chainlink to tokenize stocks like Tesla, Meta, Nvidia, Google, and others on-chain. Basically, bringing real-world equities into crypto as tokens, with Chainlink's data streams ensuring the prices and data for those stocks are accurate and tamper-proof. That's pretty cool. It blurs the line between traditional finance and crypto in a way that could attract more traditional investors into the space, because who wouldn't want to trade Tesla stock 24/7 alongside crypto, right? Another big development. Chainlink has been spearheading cross-chain bridges. They have this technology called CCIP, Cross-Chain Interoperability Protocol, and recently, Chainlink enabled a new bridge that connects the Solana network with Base. Base is Coinbase's new Layer 2 on Ethereum. This is a fascinating move because Solana is a completely separate ecosystem from Ethereum. Bridging Solana to an Ethereum Layer 2 can potentially open up liquidity and users between them. The integration is designed to boost liquidity and streamline transfers between Solana and Base. In plainer terms, it could become much easier to move your assets from Solana to something like Coinbase's platform and vice versa, all secured by Chainlink's network, and they're using their CCIP tech to do it, which presumably makes it more secure and decentralized than your typical bridge. Bridges have a history of getting hacked. As we know, Chainlink doing all this cross-chain stuff is a big hint that the future they see is multi-chain. Not one chain to rule them all, but many chains interoperating. And Chainlink wants to be the standard pipeline for that interoperability. Now, from a personal standpoint, Chainlink is one of those projects that I've always respected. It's not the kind of thing that usually makes sensational headlines or gets Reddit all excited on a daily basis, but it quietly became indispensable to the crypto ecosystem. I mean, without Chainlink or oracles like it, a lot of DeFi would just stop functioning correctly. It's like a silent partner in thousands of projects. So, do I think Chainlink will survive 2026? I'd say yes, barring some unforeseen disaster. In fact, I'd go as far as to say Chainlink will likely be around for many, many years in crypto. It's deeply woven in. It's also somewhat unique in that it doesn't really have direct competitors at the same scale. Sure, there are other oracles, banned protocol, etc., but Chainlink has the network effect and reputation. It's the boring but reliable friend of the crypto space. And guess what? In technology, boring and reliable often outlast flashy and exciting. So I'm pretty confident in Chainlink's longevity. No guarantees, of course. But that's my opinion. The third project on the list is Near Protocol. Now, Near is a project I know from the context of being a user-friendly Layer 1 blockchain, similar to Ethereum, Solana, and so on. It had a lot of buzz in 2021 and 2022 as an Ethereum competitor with a focus on developer experience and scalability. It even had a big grant program to attract projects, but I was a bit surprised to see Near ranking top 3 in AI and big data development activity. I hadn't really associated Near with AI before, so I dug into what Near's been up to, and turns out they're pivoting a bit into this space as well. Just a few days ago, on the 4th of December 2025, the Near Foundation introduced something called Near AI Cloud and a private chat service. The focus of these tools is verifiable privacy for AI applications. That sounds a bit jargony, but here's how I interpret it. There's a big concern with AI models these days, think ChatGPT or other AI services, regarding privacy. If you input sensitive data into an AI, how do you know that data won't be leaked or misused? Near seems to be building a solution where AI-driven apps can run in a way that proves they aren't violating your privacy, perhaps using the blockchain to log and verify what the AI is doing or not doing with your data. And they've already integrated these AI privacy tools into Brave Nightly, which is the testing or developer version of the Brave browser, as well as something called OpenMind and 𝗲𝗪 network. Brave, of course, is a privacy-focused web browser with a crypto angle, BAT token, etc. Brave's user base is quite large, over 100 million users by some counts. Now, not all 100 million are using the nightly version where Near's AI tools are, but it's a foot in the door. If Near's AI features eventually make it into the mainstream Brave browser, that could suddenly put Near's tech in the hands of a ton of people who won't even realize they're interacting with a crypto-powered backend. And honestly, that's how crypto goes mainstream, when people use it because it offers something useful, like privacy for AI, not just because it's crypto. So that's one angle, Near focusing on privacy in AI. Really interesting, very forward-looking. The other angle Near is taking is in DeFi meets AI. In another recent development, Near Foundation and a project called Marg Finance launched Near20, which is basically an institutional-grade yield product targeting 20% APY on Near. Yes, you heard that right. 20% annual yield powered by AI-driven option strategies. When I saw 20% APY, I was immediately skeptical. I mean, it brings back memories of Terra's Anchor protocol, which offered around 19 to 20% APY on UST stablecoin. And we know that story did not end well. Anchor's unsustainable yields were a big part of the Terra collapse. So naturally, I'm skeptical of anyone promising 20% in a supposedly stable or low-risk way. However, 𝗕𝗏𝗃 is positioning itself a bit differently. They call it institutional grade, which implies maybe more risk management and not just a straight-up savings account like Anchor tried to be. And the yield comes from AI-driven options trading strategies. This suggests they're using AI algorithms to trade options and generate yield, rather than simply paying out a fixed interest from a reserve. If that's the case, the 20% isn't a guaranteed fixed rate, but a target. Perhaps the AI thinks it can achieve around 20% by dynamically adjusting strategies. This is more complex and potentially more legit than a simple high-interest promise, but it also introduces more moving parts that could go wrong. I'll say this, it's a bold experiment. If 𝗕𝗏𝗃 actually manages to deliver around 20% returns sustainably using AI strategies, that would be a huge attraction. Many DeFi users and even institutions would flock to that. Who doesn't want 20% APY if it's truly sustainable? On the other hand, if it blows up, it could tarnish 𝗕𝗏's reputation. So, 𝗕𝗏 is taking some swings here, both in tech, privacy AI, and finance, AI-run yield farm, essentially. From a narrative perspective, 𝗕𝗏's story in 2025 is one of reinvention. They're not content to just be another fast blockchain. They're identifying niches, privacy for AI, novel DeFi products, and trying to lead there. That's commendable. It shows the team is active and hungry to stay relevant. Now, do I think 𝗕𝗏 will survive through 2026? I think there's a good chance, yes. They have a strong community and a lot of developers who like the platform. The fact that their dev activity is high indicates the ecosystem is far from dead. And by embracing hot topics like AI, but doing it in a meaningful way, not just slapping AI on the marketing, they're positioning for the future. The biggest risks to 𝗕𝗏, in my view, are competition. Lots of layer ones out there, and whether these new initiatives deliver real results. If 𝗕𝗏20, for instance, faced a problem or exploit, that could hurt. But if these efforts succeed, 𝗕𝗏 could carve out a unique identity for itself in the next wave of crypto innovation. Alright, so we've looked at Internet Computer, Chainlink, and 𝗕𝗏. 3 projects all doing very different things, yet all flying under the banner of AI and big data in crypto. Let's zoom out and compare for a second and address the big question. Which, if any, of these projects will really thrive, or at least survive, by the end of 2026? One thing that strikes me is that these 3 aren't direct competitors. It's not like they're all trying to do the same thing and only one can win. They're actually tackling totally different challenges. Internet Computer is trying to merge the traditional internet with blockchain, bringing Web 2 users, Azure, Facebook, WordPress folks, into Web 3, with an AI twist in its capabilities. Chainlink is the connective tissue making sure all chains and apps, including AI-driven ones, can talk and get data. It's infrastructure for everyone. 𝗕𝗏 is building a privacy layer for AI and innovating in DeFi using AI, focusing on user experience and perhaps enterprise with that institutional-grade product. In a way, they could all survive if they each keep to their strong suits. This isn't a zero-sum cage match. In fact, they might even complement each other. For example, a 𝗕𝗏 DeFi app could use Chainlink oracles. An Internet Computer application could potentially use Chainlink's cross-chain tech. 𝗕𝗏 might channel data into Internet Computer apps and so on. The crypto world in 2026 will likely be even more interconnected. However, let's be real. Not every project that looks good now will make it through the test of time. Execution and adoption. Those are the keywords. All 3 have execution, development, momentum, but adoption is the next hurdle. Will Internet Computer get real usage from those flashy partnerships? It needs real users running things on ICP, not just announcements. Will Chainlink's expansions translate into more fees or value accrual for the network? And, by extension, Link token holders. It's widely used, but investors always wonder when that usage reflects in price. Regardless, usage itself likely ensures its survival. Will 𝗕𝗏's AI Gambit bring in more developers and users to its platform? If brave users start using 𝗕𝗏's AI features unknowingly, That's a lot of potential adoption. If near20 draws in liquidity, that's more activity on near. It has to prove its use cases. From my perspective, if I had to bet on one project here being definitely alive and kicking in 2026, it would be Chainlink, simply because it's already so ingrained and critical. It's hard to imagine the crypto ecosystem suddenly not needing Chainlink or something like it. The more the multi-chain world grows, the more Chainlink is needed. Internet Computer and Near, I suspect, will also be around, but their trajectory might be more volatile. Internet Computer has a smaller community now, relative to its hype peak, but also less noise, meaning it can focus on building. If one of those enterprise things hits big, Internet Computer could have a renaissance. Near has a decent user base, but is in a very crowded field of layer 1s. Its AI focus could differentiate it or could be seen as a tangent. I'm optimistic given what I've learned. I started this thinking one of these might be a dud, but I actually found each has something compelling going on. Here's something funny. Initially, I was trying to figure out which one AI coin could survive 2026, as if maybe only one would. But after this journey, I'm thinking maybe all three will, in their own ways. The more interesting question might not be if they survive, but how they evolve. Crypto in 2026 could have Internet Computer enabling some mainstream web apps, Chainlink literally running the back end of Web3's data layer, and Near powering privacy for AI apps that millions use. If that happens, this trio will not just survive, they'll be thriving pillars of the crypto world. Of course, I'm painting a best-case scenario. There are less rosy outcomes too. Maybe AI crypto hype dies down and budgets dry up. But given the intersection with real tech like cloud and privacy, I feel these trends have legs. We're not talking about meme coins here. These are projects with serious development behind them. Now, a quick reality check for anyone thinking of investing in these or any altcoins. Risk management is crucial. I've been in crypto long enough to know that even strong projects can have wild price swings or unexpected setbacks. So let me share a bit of my personal strategy for navigating this crazy market safely. 1. I never keep all my funds on a single exchange. In fact, I make it a point to sign up and complete KYC on as many reputable exchanges as I might need before I actually need them. Why? Because you never know when an exchange might have issues, whether it's hacking, withdrawal suspensions, or even going bust. We saw it with Mt. Gox years ago. We saw it with FTX, shockingly, in 2022, and others. So I have a plan A, plan B, plan C for exchanges. If exchange A has a problem, I can quickly move to exchange B or C to access my funds or trade. For example, I currently have accounts with Blowfin and Bitget, among others. If something goes wrong on one, I'm not stuck. All my sign-up links for the exchanges I trust and use are on my website, linked in the description. And let me be totally clear, each of those is an affiliate link that supports the channel. If you use them, it doesn't cost you anything extra, but the exchange will give a little kickback to the channel, which helps me keep making these videos. So, a big thank you to anyone who uses those links. It genuinely helps. But affiliate or not, the key message is, don't rely on just one exchange. Spread your risk. It's like not keeping all your eggs in one basket. 2. And this is even more important. Use a hardware wallet for long-term storage. Exchanges are fine for trading and short-term moves, but for holding your assets, not your keys, not your crypto, is the rule. I personally use Ledger hardware wallets to store my Bitcoin, Ethereum, ADA, XRP, you name it. A hardware wallet keeps your private keys offline and away from the internet, which dramatically reduces the risk of hacks. If you don't have a hardware wallet, seriously consider getting one. It's a small investment to protect what could be a very large investment in the future. And one pro tip here, always buy your hardware wallet directly from the manufacturer. So if you're getting a Ledger, get it from Ledger's official website. There have been horror stories of people buying devices from third-party sellers, like someone on eBay, or even an unofficial Amazon seller, and ending up with a tampered device that steals their crypto. Don't risk it. I've got a link on my website that takes you straight to Ledger's official store, for convenience. Yes, it's an affiliate link as well. Just like the exchanges, it helps support the channel if you use it. But, however you do it, Just make sure it's the official source. Security first. Lastly, let's talk about education. The crypto space moves at warp speed, and it's full of traps for the unwary. New technologies like AI integrations, cross-chain protocols, fancy financial products, it can be overwhelming. One of the best investments you can make is in your own knowledge and skills. That's a big reason why I started the Cheeky Crypto School, which you can find at 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗏𝑠chool.com. Shameless plug, but I genuinely believe in this. We've put together courses on trading, portfolio management, risk management, and more. Basically all the foundational stuff to help you navigate crypto more confidently. Whether you're trying to figure out technical analysis or just how to balance a portfolio so one bad pick doesn't wipe you out, we cover it. If you're interested, there's a link in the description, and you can use the discount code 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗏𝗡 to get 50% off any course as a thank you for being a YouTube viewer. We made the code to encourage people who are watching the channel to take that next step in leveling up their skills. Alright, let's wrap this up. This little investigation into AI and big data crypto projects turned out to be quite the story. Who knew that a project that crashed and burned, Internet Computer, would be quietly partnering with big tech? Or that the boring oracle, Chainlink, would become the linchpin connecting entire blockchains? Or that an underdog smart contract platform, 𝗕𝗓, would innovate in AI privacy and DeFi yields? It's a testament to how quickly things evolve in crypto. 1 year's hype can become the next year's solid development, and vice versa. My takeaway from all this? Pay attention to development activity and real tech progress, not just the price. Prices will eventually follow if there's real substance, at least for the survivors. All three of these projects have substance in spades, which is reassuring. It doesn't guarantee they'll moon or anything, but it means they're not standing still. They're pushing forward, innovating, and adapting to what the industry needs. So, will these projects still be around in 2026? I'm betting that they will, and some might play even bigger roles than they do now. Keep an eye on them. And as always, do your own research before jumping into any investment. I'd love to hear what you think. Are you bullish or bearish on any of these three? Which one, if any, do you see as the long-term winner in the AI crypto space? Let me know in the comments, because this is a conversation and I'm curious about your take. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for more deep dives and personal takes on the crypto world. Your support means a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.